So even though there's a lot of issues that people don't agree on and people become more kind of siloed into their own political camps of recent, and the country has become more polarized on a number of different issues in over the last little bit, there are some things that there is bipartisan agreement among the population about. And so at the top of the list is Congress. Like, people do not like Congress. Congress approval rating has been in the single digits for years and years at this point, which doesn't really make much sense if you think about it in terms of, if our representatives are selected as the best amongst us by their peers, and are go to Washington to work on our best interest, you think that these would be the people that we would hold in reverence. But in fact, it's the exact opposite. And I've argued, including 10 seconds ago, and I made that video, that it's because of money in politics and because of the disproportionate influence of a wealthy elite looking after their own best interests, and corrupting the political system with campaign contributions and other means, which causes that. And so because of that, corrupting influence of money in politics, you have a number of things that on the surface don't make any sense in terms of why they're happening. One instructive example, which I wanted to talk about right now, is the carried interest tax loophole, which people might have heard about before. So carried interest tax loophole is, it means that if you manage a hedge fund or a private equity fund, or if your job is getting returns on capital for pension funds or for other people's, pretty much your job is to make money off of other people's money, and then you get a commission off that, your income is part of the capital return from the interest that was made on that money. And so essentially you're paid with the returns on investments, the excess returns on investments from their initial money that they gave you to manage. But that's your income, but it's actually taxed as capital gains, or at a capital gains rate, which is around 20% maximum rather than high 30% maximum for most income, which doesn't make any sense. This is what their job is. All the other jobs are taxed at a higher rate, but carried interest is taxed at a lower rate. And actually, politicians in both parties think that we need to get rid of it. So Obama said we need to get rid of it. Hillary Clinton said we need to get rid of it, and Donald Trump said that we need to get rid of it. And through the Obama administration and through the Trump administration, it stayed there. And actually, most representatives and senators also said that we need to get rid of it. Nobody supports it, or very few people support it on the record. But if that's the case, then how come those same people, who are the ones making decisions in the government, leave it in place regardless of what party is in power? The reason is because it disproportionately impacts people who are wealthy, as in hedge fund managers are more likely to be people that are A, elected to Congress, and B, financing those people who are making the decisions as representatives through campaign contributions, so that when they come in, even though they say what they have to say to make the people think that they're working on their behalf in terms of, oh yeah, I want to get rid of this, but they end up not doing it ever. And so Obama didn't get rid of it. Trump passed a giant tax bill, totally reforming the tax code, and didn't even touch it, which was an interesting thing, but actually totally predictable when you realize that 80% of the tax benefits after 10 years are going to go to the wealthiest 1% and corporations. And they don't want to get rid of the carried interest tax loophole, and so it stays in place. And there's many, many other issues like that, but this is just one informative example, I thought.